Hello, sir.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I am good, sir. I have some questions on something called the open source movement.
Yes, go on.
My first question is, what is an open source movement? And when did it start?
An open source movement was a broad-reaching movement of individuals who felt that software should be produced altruistically. The open source movement was launched in the late 70s and the early 80s. It was launched on the West as well as the East Coast. On the East Coast it was launched by a person named Richard Stallman. He was a MIT OWL lab person who launched a GNU and a free software Funcation. On the West Coast it was the University of California at Berkeley improving the Unix system.
How did it serve the people on the large? I mean, did it have any legal problems, and when did the people came to know about it?
The movement faced a number of legal challenges. Companies that produce open source product had some difficulty securing their trademark. The companies who made softwares also sell add-ons for purchase. The licensees who make additions to the open source code that are similar to those for purchase may have immunity from patent suits. For example, in the court case Jacobson v. Kaeser, the plaintiff sued the defendant for failing to put the required attribution notices in his modified version of the software, thereby violating license. In 1998, the movement was adopted, formalized and spearheaded by the Open Source Initiative. The OSI owns the trademark open source.
Interesting. What was its impact in the market?
The open source wasn't unique in the field of computer science, but it was the most successful of all the softwares. Programmers who are a part of the open source community generally improve the code and write programs that can rival much of the property software that already exists.
What are the examples of the open source production?
PHP, which is a general-purpose scripting language. Wikipedia is a good example of an open source movement. It is an online encyclopedia which can be updated by anyone who has an account with Wikipedia. Open source Eclipse tools overturned the business. Open source frameworks helped drive Ajax.
What do you think about the future of the open source movement?
The open source movement has been a pretty successful movement in the past. Not only that, there are certainties that this movement will be popular in the future also. In the past, this movement has made many discoveries. The formation of Linux by Unix was the biggest one. Lately, phone models like the iPhone is another example of the open source movement. Then there are companies like OpenMoko, a spin-off of Taiwan's first international computer, established to build an open source touchscreen smartphone. According to the OpenMoko CEO Sean Mospaltz, we absolutely, passionately, believe that something as fundamental to our lives as a mobile phone must be open. Open source is here to stay with us and it will improve with time. You can find videos on YouTube that explicitly describe about the open source movement.
Thank you, sir. It's nice talking to you.